I think it's 217.
Yeah.
You're right.
I just did every thumbnail for every like archived episode that I haven't done one for yet. Like at least for the last like 10.
Doing the
And
Lord's work.
But I've seen like every episode title. I'm still like, I have no idea what number we're on.
Yeah.
Like I did it like
I believe.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think it is 217, but I'm just gonna go double check real quick.
It is.
I'm assuming we're already.
We are already live. It is 217.
Excellent.
I just thought you were gonna say we're already too late.
Yeah,
we're already too late.
It's over.
We are already too late, but this time we're early.
What?
It's episode 217 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
We really shook Josh up with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was saying we're already too late, but this time we're early because last time there was earth-shattering news that happened on a Tuesday, and this time it happened earlier on a Monday.
Well, I wouldn't say this is earth-shattering, but it's
not
earthquake-worthy. Yeah, I guess.
Earthquake-worthy.
It's a small brush fire.
It's not anything to light the beacons over, but
the beacons of Gondor are lit.
Yeah.
The beacons of Minas Tirith.
But it's interesting. I'd say it's more interesting.
It is interesting.
Actually, speaking of Lord of the Rings, you know what
what's way too long?
It's been way too long since I've watched those movies, but you know what's funny that we mentioned Lord of the Rings. I found a site that has like one of those like download old games websites that they'll have stuff that's like unlisted or like hard to come by. I was playing Lord of the Rings Conquest today on PC for a little bit. Yeah.
I've heard that game's pretty cool. Isn't it like it's like Lord of the Rings like Battlefield,
yeah,
right?
Well, Battlefront.
Lord of the Rings Diddy's Conquest. I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefront is just Star Wars Battlefield, right?
Well, yeah. But I mean that's what Lord of the Rings Conquest is. I loved that game on 360.
I've never played it. I've heard pretty good things about it though. I've always wanted to try it.
It's fun. It's a shame that like that game came out in like 2009 or like 2010 and then like a year later they shut the servers down. Like I guess cuz like the population was just so low cuz the movies had like come and gone at that point. But like it was a pretty good game.
We were almost in Hobbit territory then, and like I feel like we're going to get more Lord of the Rings stuff like in the next couple of years with the Amazon show coming out.
Yeah, I feel an announcement coming in the next couple months.
I don't even know who has the license anymore. I know EA had it for the longest time.
Well, would it be Warner Brothers like some internal?
Oh, that's true because it is Warner Brothers. So yeah, because I was like, I seriously doubt EA has the license anymore.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what? We're getting the Gollum game.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll see how that is.
That's like in the same line as it's like what is it, Middle Earth Gollum, right? Like it's in that same.
I think it's
yeah.
Well, I don't know because the Middle Earth games are not even really like canonical, right? They're just. Also, I'm not a big fan.
I'm gonna look this up.
I don't know how you guys feel about them.
I enjoyed them, or at least I enjoyed the first one when I played of it. I wasn't very good at it. Like I never finished it, and I got very stubborn against like one specific orc, so he got like super powerful, and then I wasn't able to kill him. And I just spent all my days chasing him down, and every time I did, he just would kill me, and then I gave up.
Interesting. It's not Middle Earth. It is The Lord of the Rings : Gollum.
Yeah.
By Daedalic. So I don't know if they're like a.
I don't even know what to expect from that game.
I don't know.
Something
every
weird.
Time I see it, I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is the same studio that made the Deponia games. Did you guys know? Have you guys seen those?
No.
Nope.
I got press releases for these. There was like some promotion that they were bringing the
press release.
Yeah, Shadow Tactics, Blade of the Shogun, and 2018's State of Mind.
State of Mind sounds familiar.
They did a deal with Middle Earth Enterprises to work on this, which means the game will draw from the books, not the movies.
But isn't it like aesthetically though drawing from the movies?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. It's because I feel like most people that's what they're gonna go for. Like there are a lot of different artistic interpretations of those characters, but everyone basically knows like Ian McKellen is, Gandalf and stuff like that. So
And
I
why
feel
wouldn't
like
you?
they
He's
try to
great.
go. He is great. They always tend to go for that. So
Yeah.
not that I have a problem with that. I love those movies, but
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
not that there's anything wrong with that.
But that's not what we were here to talk about. Is Lord of the Rings Gollum? We're here to talk about the big news that came out this morning, which is that PlayStation is acquiring Bungie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, if that sounds weird to you, it's because it is.
It is kind of weird.
It is and it isn't, though.
It's a little weird.
At least of the last, I don't know, 7 years, right? Like,
I mean, sure.
Really, since Destiny came out.
You get, hey, you guys get a Hawk Moon, and then when it goes to Xbox, it's heavily nerfed, so people will never understand.
Yeah.
Oh, pleasure.
The thing is, they haven't done people for the longest time hated those PlayStation exclusives. Like even when I was on PlayStation, thought it was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I get an extra dungeon and like an extra gun. I'm like, that doesn't feel good. It's like, why can't everybody have this?
Yeah.
But then when they went multi-platform, it's like we can't really do that because what if
it unbalances the game
and the Crucible is better? Yeah. And then when you go between, if you're playing on PC and then you go to PS5 or whatever to play, like all of a sudden, like I can't use this gun. That doesn't make sense, right? So they got rid of it, but still makes me wonder if they'll try something. They'll try to do it, but it is a bit weird. I'm with you, Brian. It's a little bit strange of a purchase.
What is, I think, potentially even more strange, given Bungie's much more storied history with Xbox through Halo, is that they're still a like pseudo independent.
Yeah, they still technically they still technically own Destiny, and they a couple other things like there's some other random
publish and things like that, which is like, this is so like the most bizarre thing about this is that it runs at least, and I'll put this caveat out there, at least what they are saying they are doing. Whether or not they will actually do this remains to be seen, because I trust Sony about as far as I can throw them at this point. But if they do what they say they are doing, this is a complete about face from everything they've done with their previous acquisitions, which is they're basically just supporting this studio and helping them kind of do what they want to do better, increase their reach, increase their ability to do what it is that Bungie does with Destiny, and is not making anything exclusive. I think the second sentence of Herman Hulst's post was, just to be clear, they will continue to make multi-platform games and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's partially what's a little strange about it.
That's not a Sony move.
But also, it was like only 2 years ago, like only maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that Bungie like separated themselves from Activision, and they were like super gung-ho about, we're going to be independent and like we're going to do all this stuff, and then it
was weird.
Yeah, like my immediate reaction was, oh well, I guess so much for all that independence, right? Because like,
yeah,
I have a feeling this doesn't just come from a place of like they wanted this to happen. I feel like Bungie kind of needed this to happen financially.
Yeah.
This seems like something that by coincidence has been in the works for a long time. And
I think they said they've been talking to him for like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so this is
and
this would then
like
be
this are gonna feels like this take a while to even go through anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so that would mean that this is in direct response to the Bethesda acquisition, or we can assume that, right?
Maybe, but that was like in comparison, that was so long ago. Like the Bethesda one happened like, man, even before like in 2020 maybe, or
it was before Deathloop came out. I don't think it was time is a flat circle. When
I know. I'm trying to remember if I was in the office,
Microsoft
if I was in the
buys.
GameSpot office when this happened, or if COVID had already happened. I feel like COVID wasn't a thing then. Like,
September
but I could be
21st, 2020.
okay. So it was
Oh wow,
Oh,
it
it
was
was, yeah.
2020. I thought it was last year for some reason. Okay.
interesting.
But like we've heard, and like I don't think it's any secret that Bungie has been in situations where like they have almost gone bankrupt, like multiple
Yeah.
times.
I mean, they spend a lot of money, and like their games are big. Like
Yeah.
Destiny is
Yeah.
big, but it's not like I wouldn't. It's probably not making like it's not enough to float that studio. Probably.
No.
I assume that they're making an amount of money, but I as someone who left Destiny behind after just having all my stuff taken away constantly, like I can't imagine that's been good for the player base because I know a lot of other people who also left for that exact reason.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I'm in that boat.
it doesn't make people want to invest in your game when they buy something and it's almost like they're renting it. Like they're gonna lose it in 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder if, after the separation that strategy wasn't working.
Yeah.
Like, and they weren't, making a bunch of money like to float it, or if like the entire idea of separating from Activision was to get bought once again by someone, but I don't know.
By somebody they liked a bit more.
It is strange. Yeah, and it's interesting to think because even we were looking at player numbers today for games and stuff, and Destiny 2 is about like 1 million players, right?
I should look at that now, actually.
Which sounds about right. Like when I was playing, that was about
Yeah,
how many
Monday
people
night
were.
now.
That's about how many people on average were playing. I think the average was something more like 800,000, normally, and then free to play made it get bigger. But I can't imagine that many players playing that free to play game that has like some microtransactions, but mostly makes its money from, selling expansions is really doing all that great with just the way that the game has been run. And that's their only game right now. We know they're working on another game called Matter, and they've been, or, whatever it's called. And they've been working on that forever. Whether that ever comes out remains to be seen. But like, even then, like, what are they really, like, what are they making? Or how well is Destiny actually doing? Because even if all those people are buying expansions, that's still only like what 30-ish million a year, right? And that's before taxes and before like all the other things. That's not 30 million is not enough to run a studio of that size. That's like 800 people, right?
And the infrastructure to run that game, like
that and the server infrastructure.
Yeah, like it's not like they're running a game that they are just okay. We ship it, person installs it. Like it's not like Returnal, like this thing that just sits on your console. Like
30 million is like what, like 3/4 of one CEO salary. Like that's that's nothing.
And who knows how much the execs there are making? Which I would imagine it's probably not like Activision numbers, but still.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's comfortable.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's very comfortable. Yeah. I definitely wonder like what the long game is for this purchase.
Yeah.
Like did Sony just feel like if Microsoft's going to buy a bunch of stuff, do we have to buy a bunch of stuff too? Or is there actually like a good strategic reason, for buying this studio? Exactly.
One thing that he said that I thought was interesting was let me see if I can actually pull up the interview, or if it does anybody have that link?
Not that I can grab it right now. No.
Okay.
The weirdest thing about this is like I've had a bunch of people text me because like my whole family like knows I used to play Destiny, and like a bunch of people know I was the Destiny guy like in my office before, and I like don't have an opinion on this, and it's really
I don't really have an opinion on it.
It's
either.
weird, like to not like I don't feel anything other than that's weird. Like
Yeah.
It's just such an odd. It's an odd acquisition, and I don't know what the end game is. Like if they are going to remain multi-platform and they are going to, keep doing with Destiny 2 what the roadmap that they, laid out for the next like 2 to 3 years, like okay, like go ahead. Yeah, I guess you're financially backing them, but I don't know what you have to gain by this.
So I don't know either. That's
okay,
what's so strange about it.
I think I may be able to illuminate that a little bit with this quote.
Okay. Illuminate me, Brian.
So right here I'm on this is the blog post on Bungie.net. Okay, so in SIE we have found a partner who unconditionally supports us in all we are, and who wants to accelerate our vision to create generation-spanning entertainment, all while preserving the creative independence that beats in Bungie's heart. Like us, SIE believes that game worlds are only the beginning of what our IPs can become.
All right.
Together, we share a dream of creating and fostering iconic franchises that unite friends around the world, families across generations, and fans across multiple platforms and entertainment media.
Okay.
Today, Bungie begins our journey to become a global multimedia entertainment company. So it's
Destiny, PlayStation Studios, the series,
television show,
right,
the movie,
yeah,
the comic book, the cereal, the flamethrower, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
flamethrower.
Baseball's the flamethrower. Yeah, but like that seems, and like Sony Pictures is, it would be really easy for a pseudo internal PlayStation studio to get with Sony Pictures and make a movie.
It'll be so.
Like that would not be.
But do we want that? Like,
I don't want that, but they want to make me want that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's what's weird about it is like, I don't know. We like back when I was playing Destiny, like we all wanted books and things like more lore and stuff like that. We all wanted that, but like at this point, after the Destiny 2 thing and like all the lore got kind of messed with and it's a little bit all over the place now, and like they sort of course corrected, but like it's still not the same as it was.
And I don't think I would have wanted a TV show or a movie then. I would have wanted books.
Yeah. I would have wanted like books or comics and stuff.
Because I feel like with a movie and even with some television shows, it's so easy to try to go too big too fast.
Yeah.
We saw that with like DC trying to make their big superhero movies and stuff. It's like they tried to go straight to the Justice League because that's like the money shot. That's like the big thing that everybody wants to see. But like you can't do that. You got to start small. And I feel like with books, people tend to focus on, and I mean Bungie knows this because the Halo books are great. But
yeah,
I mean, compared to almost literally any other video game book ever, they're like amazing.
Yeah, as someone who just read Fall of Reach again after like years, I was like, this was perfectly fine. It didn't make me really want to read anymore though.
Well, but put yourself in the mindset of someone in 2002 or whatever that came out, that book came out, and it was like, oh my God, there's a book about a video game. Like that was the more exciting aspect of it.
Yeah, and it's good. I honestly, I liked the Fall of Reach book. I found the one about Master Chief himself and about his origins to be more interesting.
I mean, maybe it goes back to our Halo Infinite spoiler thing, but I just am like so over Master Chief, so maybe like that book was just not the right thing for me to listen to at the moment. But it was perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues with it. I was just like, yeah, this was fine. Like it was science fiction military book. It was perfectly fine.
This kind of like is kind of a good segue into the Halo series trailer that we got yesterday.
Yeah,
not in just like not in just that like the trailer came out, but like
did anyone want this?
But like that is an example of of what it sounds like they are trying to do, what Bungie is trying to do what Sony is trying to do with Bungie and that IP.
I'm actually gonna let Jake in which is an unprecedented move for the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It sounds like that's what people want. Like people just see money signs when they think of TV and stuff, but I also am like, does it need to be a TV show? Like,
Of course.
I don't know. The Halo show, I mean, like I think visually it looks like Halo, which I guess is a good thing, but at the same time it looks weird and like
there are some things
under budget, right?
I think
like,
look really good. Like I will come out and say I think the Covenant look awesome.
Dude, the elites look really
the
good.
elites look fucking awesome. I don't know if I'm like in the minority of that, but I saw that and I was like, that is amazing. Like they nailed that.
I was like, yeah, this doesn't look very good. Then the elite like jammed their head through the wall, and I was like, oh, that looks dope.
Yeah.
So not just you,
but I don't know. It could be good. It's just that to me when I watched it, I was like, this looks like a sci-fi channel show, kind of
real goofy.
Yeah, it is in that weird in between space of like, is this someone with like a high budget YouTube channel, or is this like something that I would find on a streaming service? I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm definitely gonna watch it.
We'll see.
It kind of looks like one of those Ismahawk videos.
That's
dope as those are.
But that's like really what it reminded me of, was like something of that, because those guys are extremely talented.
Yes.
But
they're like low budget YouTubers, right? They're not.
They're not Paramount.
They're not CBS.
No, and it's not a knock at those guys. Like Frank Sullivan, I love you, but like, you're not Paramount. Like you're not a major motion picture thing. I don't think that's an insult at all.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. But it does beg the question, like who is going to want this? Like, again, this
really
is such
hardcore Halo fans.
This is such it's such an echo chamber conversation for us, because I think partially because of COVID, and because we all like kind of ebb and flow with similar kind of what's happening in the nerd spaces, movies and shows and games and whatever, but. Like, how many people that are like somewhat like I'll come back to my brother, like I always do. Like my brother Kevin, like, are you gonna get him to subscribe to Paramount Plus for $5 a month to watch the Halo show? Like this guy who like, I only play multiplayer, I don't care about the campaign. Like how many of those people are out there that now get multiplayer for free? No, but get multiplayer for free for now if you're on Xbox or whatever, and they don't care about the campaign. Like, are they gonna care about a Halo TV show? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a really good question, and I guess we'll find that out. But yeah, I am wondering what the Bungie acquisition is for. If they're not going to like really take advantage of it and be like, any future games you guys make, like they're gonna be, exclusives or whatever. I don't know that they'll make a Destiny 3, but
did they definitely say that any future projects would be multi-platform, or did they say that any future content for Destiny? I thought that was how it read, was that they would like finish out the Destiny 2 experience. And
I don't know, because they made it seem like after Lightfall, right, which is the last expansion they've announced, as long as, well, back from what I remember, that would be like the end of this like gigantic arc or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
But then they were saying like there'll be more, which who knows? I don't know. Like, do they just keep doing Destiny 2? Because they're already like cutting out all the content, because they say they literally can't fit more in the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they just gonna keep cutting and keep going? Like, that sounds exhausting to me.
It's exhausting as a player, like,
yeah,
especially. I don't want this to turn into like a. There's so many other things to talk about.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have that many more thoughts on this. I just think it's very strange, and time will tell.
No, I mean,
what this ultimately becomes.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is like I feel like they're kind of shooting themselves. Or they kind of shot themselves in the foot with creating this battle pass system that like demand. I mean, look at like Fortnite does it in a way that like they reset the entire game for everyone, and that is what is expected. With Destiny, it's like some of it's there, but not all of it, and it changes from time to time, and like there's so many like asterisks.
And good luck like following the plot at all.
Yeah, like
that was a huge thing for like my friends who were trying to get into the game when I was into it. They were like, I literally have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard if you haven't been here the whole time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I have the quotes here if we want to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and run through that.
So here we go. So this is on gamesindustry.biz. There were Jim Ryan did an interview with Christopher Dring. Quote, the first thing to say unequivocally is that Bungie will stay an independent multi-platform studio and publisher. Pete Parsons, CEO of Bungie, and I have spoken about many things over recent months, and this was one of the first and actually easiest and most straightforward conclusions we reached together. Everybody wants the extremely large Destiny 2 community, whatever platform they're on, to be able to continue to enjoy their Destiny 2 experiences. And that approach will apply to future Bungie releases. That is unequivocal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said that is unequivocal.
Yeah, then it has to be what we're talking about. It has to be the series and whatever else they're going to make.
So, yeah, and here's the
anime on Crunchyroll.
Bungie will operate autonomously within the Sony Interactive Entertainment Organization, and they will continue to publish on other platforms. We get the importance of this. We've grown studios organically, but we've also made a number of acquisitions over the years, whether it is Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch Productions, or more recently, Insomniac. We understand how important it is to give these great organizations the space and independence while bolstering that with great support when and where that's needed.
I mean, think of it this way, too, which we haven't talked about. When the PS4 came out, when Destiny 1 came out, all of that marketing said, play Destiny on PlayStation. And, like, people... And they had the exclusive console, and, like, people bought them. And it brought them...
Call of Duty.
And Call of Duty. Like, and it brought them very far through that generation.
That simple marketing switch made PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, the lead platform for Call of Duty. It took a while to do that, but
I don't know if it is anymore, but
it was at a
interesting question. I know for Destiny it was
Xbox 360. It was definitely Xbox focused.
Yeah, I guess it's just Destiny Game Pass. Again,
it was already on.
It was already on Game Pass,
but is it going to continue being on Game Pass? Who knows, right?
It's so weird.
Which is so interesting because Bungie was part of Activision Blizzard. Then they split off from Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard gets acquired by Microsoft. Bungie gets acquired by Sony.
Yeah. Well, they were also part of Microsoft, and then
Bungie left off. Bungie left Microsoft, became part of Activision Blizzard, then split off, and then one went one way, one the other.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't make this stuff up.
Did you see there was an Onion headline that it was like there are now 6 corporations left?
Yeah.
It's insane.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even the only acquisition that happened today.
No, it wasn't. No.
Because the New York Times acquired Wordle.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah. For like only a couple 100,000 from what I understand.
Was it really? No, they said low 7 figures.
Oh, low 7 figures. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good for that guy or gal or whoever made it, Hello.
Yeah, whoever made it.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
I forgot
this is the part of the show when Chris gets a nice kiss.
Yeah.
This is the part of the show where I get a smooch.
Yay.
I mean, Jess just smooches you because Josh and I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only fair. It's only fair. But yeah, so
somebody's got to do it.
That was somebody has to. Somebody is legally required to smooch Chris every day. And since COVID has cropped up, Josh and I can't make our daily pilgrimages to Philadelphia.
No. I'm saving a ton in airline expenses though.
No joke. I've been able to I bought a castle. It's been wild. Who thought? When they were talking about millennials not being able to buy houses because of buying avocado toast, That's not what it was. It was the daily plane tickets to and from Philadelphia to kiss Chris Shriver.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Anyway.
So that's all I really have to say about that. It's a more acquisitions are a bummer, but this is at least an interesting one that looks a bit different than the way that that PlayStation has done things previously. Which, if they continue to basically support the studio and kind of give them a nice home to do multimedia stuff, and their game stuff effectively stays the same or is just able to expand a little bit more, but in all the same places, then I think this is maybe the best outcome that you can hope for with this sort of news. I'm curious if you guys feel the same.
I am just kind of like, man, we'll see.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. It's just such a weird.
Yeah. It's such a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Sony's now worried and they're like, oh, we gotta buy people, and this is just one of the ones, right?
They did say
one of them's got to buy Sega. I can't believe it hasn't happened yet.
I was saying the same thing today. I'm like, I'm still pretty sure Microsoft could buy Sega, especially after they announced that like they're getting out of the arcade business in Japan.
Did they?
After like 50 years. Yeah, that happened, I think, like this weekend that got announced.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
In Japan, arcades are still pretty big. So,
yeah, no, it's a big deal.
I still could see a world where Microsoft buys Sega just for the IP alone. They have so much, other than Sega and Phantasy Star, they have so much dormant IP that is just sitting there. It's like ripe for all kinds of stuff. I'm still just, I'm one of those people. It's like, please make an HD version of Skies of Arcadia. I'm begging you, for the love of God. And I just want Microsoft to buy them just for that, just so they do that.
Also, another thing that we should note, this is a very curious quote. Jim Ryan said later on in the interview, this has nothing to do with industry consolidation. This has everything to do with a shared vision and how we can do things better together. But then he goes on to say that Ryan says the firm is not done in this area. Quote, we should absolutely expect more. Yeah. We are by no means done. With PlayStation, we have a long way to go. I will personally be spending a lot of time with Pete and the team at Bungie, helping make sure everything beds down right, and that autonomy means autonomy. But elsewhere in the organization, we have many more moves to make. Which sounds like a threat.
Yeah, it does.
You haven't even seen my final form.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
I do hope, like, because it'll just be interesting. Like, I love the idea of like Sony being this like sleeping dragon, and then like 2022 they come out and they're just like, we bought this company and this company, and now we have our own Game Pass, and this is happening. Like, that's
part of the thing, though. It's like what we were talking about last week is Sony just doesn't have the capital to do that.
They
like
don't.
Microsoft does.
No. So, and it wouldn't
Sony
be.
is a sleeping bear. Microsoft is a sleeping dragon.
No. The point I'm making,
that
though,
dragon's
is like
awoken.
The companies that are like well known enough, but not massive. Like, there aren't that many Bethesdas and Activision Blizzards. There aren't. Yeah. But like your Namcos or the one I just said,
could see a
Sega.
Sony buys Namco.
Yeah. Like, just like weird stuff like
Square.
that I can see happening. Yeah.
I don't see them buying Square.
I mean, I don't see them buying any of these people, but we don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know anymore.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's going to be an interesting year. It already is.
Part of me feels like
Konami
Square...
and be like, stop making pachinko machines and hot tubs.
Well, you wouldn't even have to buy Konami. You could just buy all their IP.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
They wouldn't have to buy them. They could just...
games, but the people want Castlevania, so I need that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Konami.
The 40-year-olds want Castlevania.
Also, we will treat Kojima right, so we're gonna buy Metal Gear off of you.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to do that. And honestly, I don't want him to do that, because Death Stranding was way more interesting than Metal Gear. So.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed at this point. At least for him.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. So. he should do what he wants to do. But that's basically all I have to say about that. But expect more weird acquisition announcements from Sony in the near future, I guess. So.
And Microsoft probably.
Yep.
And Microsoft probably. Although I think at this point we're basically just playing the waiting game and seeing what they're gonna do with all these new toys that they can play with now.
Yeah.
Because their roster is Microsoft went from Microsoft has no exclusives to we have almost all of the toys.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see how we want to play with them on our new playset.
Yeah.
And I am, as much as the whole consolidation thing like sucks, I am really interested to see what happens with all these things in the future.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
Brad
question.
Are you looking at Brad's question?
I am. Brad asks,
Brad Miller in the chat. Yep.
What is the market cap of Konami or Square? The market cap.
Chris is gonna look this up.
Konami, not so much, just because they basically have left the gaming business completely. They basically make like pachinko machines from their IP, and
they
then
have gyms. They have a bunch of gyms and stuff.
Yeah, and then they make a lot of other random. They make like medical equipment in Japan and stuff. Like they do a lot of other random stuff. They don't need video games. Like they're like, who cares? Square is probably a lot. Square's still
they're like reverse
successful.
Sony, honestly. Konami is like reverse Sony. Their gaming corner doesn't mean anything. Actually, their Konami is more like Microsoft. Their gaming part is like, yeah, whatever, we don't care.
Konami's estimated at $5 billion.
Yeah, none of that has to do with games.
Yeah,
unless you count like gaming, but yeah,
no,
they make a lot of just other
healthcare
stuff.
Legally, it is considered gaming, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
Square Enix, $2 billion.
Interesting.
They're very successful right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'd imagine Capcom might be the most of those, but I don't know.
Capcom, I could see just because I feel like they haven't. Not that they haven't released bad stuff lately, but it's just like what have they really been up to? Like other than like Devil May Cry, right? Oh, I guess they have Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is wildly successful.
I was about to say, other than the wildly successful Monster Hunter franchise.
Monster Hunter. Yeah, I forgot they did that.
We'll put it into this perspective too. Sony as a whole, not just the PlayStation portion, $18.6 billion. And they just bought Bungie for 3 something.
Yeah.
So they can't make that many more buys.
Yeah, that's probably a fairly large flex for their size.
But you also have to think about like how many of these companies are interested in even being bought, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like just because someone can buy something on paper doesn't necessarily mean they're going to, right?
Yeah.
So
somebody made a good point in our games industry hangout space. Somebody said Sony buys, Sony will buy like a publisher or something. Microsoft will buy a conglomerate of publishers. Something like that. So which is true. Like they are dealing in different kind of echelons of things. And this was something that was said a long time ago, and we mentioned it previously during the Activision Blizzard discussion when we had Will and Becky on. But Jesus, I just forgot what I was going to say. But Microsoft doesn't consider Sony or PlayStation to be their competition. Their competition is like Google, Amazon.
Yeah. They're only competition in one specific market that they happen to be in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the rest of Sony, like while Sony is a really big company, like PlayStation seems to be like one of the only things that's really making them money. And even though they have, they have music and they have
movies
films
and TV and
but like
audio equipment,
and electronics. Yeah, it's like how much of their profits are really coming from that and how much are coming from gaming. It's like when you add it all up, they're probably making money, but based on what I've heard, like PlayStation's the one thing that's sort of like keeping them going. Not keeping them like from going out of business, but just like the one thing that's sort of like
increasing revenue.
Increasing revenue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like substantially. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's industry's going to be real weird the next few years.
Yep.
It's getting there. So, Chris, I know that we touched on the Paramount Plus thing. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say about the Halo thing or anything else like that before I get into talking about Nobody Saves the World?
No. I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. It's on Paramount Plus March 24th.
I will just tell you, if you've not seen it, brace yourself because Cortana looks different.
Cortana definitely looks different. Halsey looks different.
Wait, was Halsey even in it?
Halsey's in it. She's the blonde.
Okay. Definitely did not clock that at all.
Well, the only reason I knew is because I looked up like who was who in this show. The guy who plays It's Not Keys.
Wait, so the actor for Cortana and Halsey are different people?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I know.
Oh, that's weird.
And like Halsey's not old. She's like probably in her early 40s. Late.
I mean, wasn't that?
Yeah, probably like early 40s.
Do you think this is going to be like a Master Chief's Year Zero thing?
I mean, they show a kid that you presume is him.
Yeah, but like, is this going to be?
It's literally about them finding the first Halo. Like they say,
it looks like it was a. It looked like it was a precursor to
Combat Evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense because
but you're going on like if it's going to be canonical or not, because it might not be. It might be its own thing.
Yeah, I think it's its own thing. Because there's other Spartans in it.
No, never mind. I was thinking First Contact was at Reach, and then they immediately flew away and found the first Halo. But that's not actually true.
That's not no.
That's just the first time the Covenant attacked a planet.
A planet
of theirs.
Yeah.
Okay. So this could lead up to Reach, I guess, which could be cool. That's an interesting time.
Yeah, maybe.
Or they're doing their own thing. I have no idea. Like they may.
Yeah,
I don't know how much they care about us. Like,
it might not
in terms
be canon.
of like, yeah, they might just be like, yeah, Halo is cool. Let's just make a story in that world.
Yeah,
and it's
totally
like,
let's just make a TV show. We'll get the gamers.
And then he dies in the end.
Yeah,
and it's just a totally different thing altogether.
Somebody did a deep dive. Somebody, I apologize for whoever wrote the script for it for IGN, because they like you could tell they definitely like knew Halo, and like the extended universe and the books and everything, But the Spartans that are in the show, like the one guy's from Ghostbusters Afterlife, is like they're referenced throughout the entire book series, or like in different parts of the book series.
Is it like Linda and Fred and those people?
I think so. Yeah.
That's Blue Team.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's John's squad.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I've only read Fall Reach, and that was like 15 years ago.
The interesting thing about that is if they actually carry that through, like John is actually one of the weakest people on Blue Team.
Oh wow.
Other people are like better shots or stronger or faster. Like the John's thing is that he's lucky. Like he just ends up being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
Soren,
which is cool.
066.
Soren 066.
Riz, Kai, Vanek.
Well, none of those are them.
They could all be new people. I have no idea. We'll see.
Ways.
I don't know. I'll watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'll report back. But
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's cool. That was a bit meatier of a discussion than I was anticipating. But
yeah,
it's substantial news that has to do with a company that the three of us have a lot of love for, whether it's from Destiny, which is how we all met in the first place, or Halo, which is something that I think holds a special place for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that let's get into some of the stuff that we've been playing. I'll briefly mention a new character came out in Guilty Gear, Baiken. She's really, really cool. I'm sure you've seen her. Her key art is outrageous and has actually gotten some people demonetized on YouTube for nudity.
Wow.
Excuse me while I look this up for just a second.
It's excessive, but I also don't think it looks great. I think she looks great except for the area in question, which just is just come on, guys. But anyway,
holy tomatoes! Look at these.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look up Baiken, Baiken, Guilty Gear Strive. She's awesome though. She's a one-armed, one-eyed samurai. She's really strong. I've been playing her. I'm basically treating her like my new main character in this game. She's a lot of fun. She's got like a counter, and where her arm used to be, she's got like this chain that comes out and like smacks people in the face with a giant club.
Chesticles aside, it's a cool design.
Yes, she's extremely.
It's a very cool design.
Cool. She has tons of swagger. She's a badass.
Reminds me a lot of
very gruff.
It actually reminds me a lot of Android 21 from Fighters.
From, DBFC.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the hair and everything.
Yeah, she's really, really cool. Her hair has actually gotten bigger.
Oh wow.
Not the only thing that's gotten bigger in her design. If you look at the original Guilty Gear, if you look at it, like she was like wasting away, like, and she was in this like very loose.
This seems like a very a quiet situation from like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, oh well, she breathes through her skin. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you're like, oh come on.
Yeah.
It would be like, what if it would be like that if Quiet was also in the original Metal Gear and she was like super thin and emaciated and looked like a street urchin, and then turned into what she was in Metal Gear Solid 5. That would be basically what happened with Baiken. But she's a lot of fun.
Anyway,
game is a lot of fun, and that's something that I've been playing. Also been playing a little bit of. Let me look up the name so I don't screw it up. God, where is it? I put it up here. What is it? Oh my God, I don't want to screw it up. Gunvolt Chronicles, Luminous Avenger IX2, I think.
Sure.
I've always wanted to play those games. Like there's like Azure
oh
Gunvolt
God,
Chronicles.
I nailed it. I got it right.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been playing Gunvolt Chronicles. I was sent a key for this from Inti Creates, great studio. And I will say this is more straightforward. I'm only like 3 chapters in, I think, so far. I didn't really, as I talked about previously, I didn't really care for Dragon Marked for Death, but this one is way more my speed. This is a lot like a combination of playing like Mega Man X and playing like one of the games with Zero in it, because you have like a Zero. You have like a close or like the ZX games, you know,
right?
Like which are like different. It feels way more like the ZX games, except where ZX is like really, 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 really hard and punishing and stuff. This game is very easy. You have a heal that heals you to absolute full health, and you can use it anytime you want. So ostensibly, you could never die the whole game if you're just like very like there was a part when I was running through this area and like the lava was filling up, and I actually went back to. I spent a little bit of extra time trying to get a collectible like over on the side, and the lava actually caught up with me, and it was like really chunking my health because you're supposed to die because you're in lava. But I just kept mashing heal, and I was actually almost able to like keep running through the lava and like get out. It was really ridiculous. But I think that makes this actually a more accessible thing for people for whom like they like Mega Man, but maybe it's a little bit too hard, or they just want to have like a nice safety net that they can play with. I've been playing it on PC. I got it on Steam. And I've been liking it. I don't love the music in like the first 2 levels. The 3rd level has some pretty good music. But like that is something that I really equate with like these Mega Man style games, is like they have kind of chunky like, you know, 8-bit, 16-bit soundtracks that are like very rhythmic and fun. And then the gameplay being really good. There are like special abilities that you can get from the different bosses when you beat them, just like Mega Man. Except instead of having to fish for like picking up energy packs and stuff. When you use that special, you use all the energy up, and then it just refills automatically. So it's like it's very approachable. This feels like a game that like wants you to play it, wants you to enjoy it, and have a good time. And so far, it doesn't completely hit on all cylinders as far as like I until I like got a few more abilities from like acquiring currency and like picking them up from the menu. But there's a bunch of stuff you can see what all of it is, and you pick it up just from little like kind of rupee drops that enemies drop all the time. And you can there's one that's like reduces all your damage to 1 when you're standing still on the ground, which is like really powerful, and you can get it almost immediately. There's a bunch of stuff like that where it's like magnet for money, and it just sucks everything in from across the screen when you kill somebody. And the expand on your move sets and these sorts of things. I'm still fairly early, but it's pretty fun. And I will say, of the Gunvolt games that I've played so far, this might be my favorite. Either that or Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which is the like hybrid.
That was like a top-down one, wasn't it, on Switch? Or
no. It was on Switch, but that was the oh my god, that was the Mighty Number 9 and Gunvolt Azure Slasher Gunvolt like kind of mashup.
Yep.
Which was kind of like Mega Man Powered Up, if you played any of that, like back on the PSP. Which great game.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Blaster
That's my favorite
Master.
version of Mega Man 1. Yeah, no, not Blaster Master at all. Yeah, but this is I would say that either this or Mighty Gunvolt Burst are my favorite of this kind of series of games so far. I didn't play the previous Gunvolt Chronicles game. The only ones that I've played is I kind of dipped my toe into Azure Striker Gunvolt, which it didn't really vibe with me. But this one is like more my speed, I think. Just because like there's a real big focus on movement. It looks more like Mega Man X, which it has like a really prominent place in my heart and stuff like that. I'll definitely get back with you guys as I play more of it. One thing that was weird was, as I said, I am playing it on PC. My gaming laptop really chugged when trying to play it, which is odd. And I'm
for
not
that kind of
sure
game.
why.
It must be like an optimization thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but then I played it on my desktop where I've got my what is it, 3080 Ti or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's
like, ran totally.
isn't it a side-scrolling pixel game? Like
it is.
Yeah.
It is, but it's like this. Like my laptop runs like Dark Souls 3 at 60 frames, so like I'm not sure why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like just keep that in mind. So if you're trying to pick this up on like a lower end PC, like maybe check it out on console instead.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I'm not sure actually how much it is. I should check on that, but I'll get that back to you when I do like my final review on it. But I'm having fun with it so far, so I think you should. I think you should. If that sort of a thing, if you've been looking for like a Mega Man, I was actually just thinking about this. I was just thinking about like, man, Mega Man 11 was so good. Maybe I should go replay that. And then like I got the press release for this, and I was like, oh hey, like one of these types of games.
Way
like,
to scratch the itch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so I'm hoping that it continues to kind of grow and develop, and like the moveset kind of speaks to me a little bit more as I go on and unlock more abilities. But right now, the first couple of things that you get are pretty cool. Even if I don't think it reaches the levels of like a Mega Man X or something like that.
Yeah.
It's still like I would say probably above average in the space, which I think is actually kind of plagued with a lot of not very impressive games. So,
I would agree.
but we'll see. Chris, what did you say you'd been up to this week? What were you playing?
I've been playing a little game called Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, whatever it is.
I say Arceus, but
I think it is Arceus, but I always forget.
I always thought it was Arceus or something, but whatever.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Some
say it all different
word.
Yeah.
Write this down. Arceus, or Arceus.
It
How is it?
It's great. It's great, but it's not perfect. And it's not the fault. A lot of it is it's not the fault of the game, it's the hardware that it's running
Which, I mean, this is how many times we got to talk about this.
I know, but there's I should have grabbed it. I'll tweet it later. Somebody on I think it was the NVC like Facebook group, right? Somebody with 2 Switches posted a picture of this game running on a standard Switch next to an OLED one. On an OLED one, it looks great. Like the art direction like really comes through, and like it doesn't look like a mess. I couldn't imagine playing this game undocked on a regular Switch because of how muddy it looks.
I didn't buy it because
Like,
that's what I'd be doing.
I mean, I haven't seen it. Like, I could try it on the light, but even that, like, the pixel density's tighter. Like, it looks better on a light. But it is, like, at least the photo this guy posted, like, it is jarring. That being...
Have you seen all of the, like, side-by-sides of that and, like, Breath of the Wild?
No.
Just how not great it looks in comparison.
Yeah, like, you could tell they're trying to do this, like, almost like Bob Ross painting aesthetic. Like throughout, like as far as the landscapes are concerned, and it just like doesn't come.
Paint a muddy little Pokemon.
Yeah, like it doesn't come through.
Kind of looks like a Togepi, but
yeah,
you know,
we tried. But like
if you squint, it looks like a Pokemon.
The gameplay loop and the changes that they made to it, I'm tremendously impressed. Like I can't believe how sucked in I've gotten to this game, because
I've heard this is the one where it's like it doesn't really land, but it takes some swings. And
it takes swing, yeah, it takes swings, and it makes me excited for another one of these that like is either running on better hardware, or is better optimized, better art direction, like all that. This is a great first attempt.
Have you tried this on Yuzu?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to. But I've been playing it on Switch so much that I haven't had time.
I'm just really curious if like
I actually haven't seen how it looks on Yuzu either. I'm sure there's videos of it out there, but
Will has done it.
Oh, has he?
He told me how to. I just haven't taken the time to do it myself.
Yeah. No, I mean it. The weird thing is like, I don't think Yuzu can fix a lot of the problems that this game has, like as far as performance is concerned. Like, what I will say is they were very smart in what they chose to dial back, in order for what's happening like in the immediate area to run well. So you're typically focused or your primary like your eye is focused on like the 10 or 20 feet around your character that you're running around with, and then everything else around it looks pretty bad. So you'll see, like, if you look up any video of any of the gameplay of it, you'll see like a Golbat flying or something like way in the distance, and it's at like 5 frames a second. Like, it'll do this.
I mean, that's a pretty common thing.
Yeah, I mean it's noticeable for sure, and when you see
something you're playing on Series X or PS5.
I mean, I would say that's a common thing in a lot of open world games where they like lower the resolution
or it'll
of stuff
be at like
in the background.
240p.
Yeah, but then everything that's around you is like super snappy. Like, I really haven't had many like frame rate dips or anything like that. The only time it happens is if like you're spinning around a lot, like really quickly in Jubilife, which is like the town that everything takes place in. But other than that, like, it
sounds like a meal supplement.
Jubilife,
catch the fever,
made out of jujubes. It's very addictive though. Like, I want nothing more than to hang up this call and just go play this game. I've been thinking about it all day, and I keep looking at the clock ticking by, and I'm like, God, I'm not gonna have time to play today, and that sucks. And then tomorrow Jess has off, and I'm not gonna be able to play that either. So she's already got like 15 hours in it or something.
Wow.
Yeah, she's obsessed with it. So the whole deal with this game is
everybody on my timeline is playing this game.
Yeah.
And I just came to the realization of like, snap, I have not been putting aside enough money for the Steam Deck, and if it goes live, I'm gonna have to pull
It goes
money
live. They said when it goes live though. It goes live on February 25th, and then you have 3 days to
Exactly. And I can't buy anything right now. So that's why I didn't get Arceus.
Yeah.
Make 'em wait.
Yeah. So the whole premise of this is, for those who don't know, which many of you may at this point, so I'll keep it short. You are dropped into this like it's Sinnoh, but it's like when Sinnoh like first started out, and you were creating the first Pokedex. So you're helping this Pokemon professor go around and gather information. So it's not like you see a Pokemon once, like you would in the other games, and it's like, oh, okay, like I recognize this one, and then you catch it, and then you have everything. It'll give you different objectives. So it'll be like catch, and they're all this way, but it'll be like battle this Pokemon 5 times, battle this Pokemon 10 times, 15, 20, 25. Catch 5, 10, 15, 20 of them, like however many it may be. And every single time you get like a little stamp in your Pokedex, and it's like, okay, you completed this objective. It's almost like a Destiny bounty system kind of loop. Like that's the
like
saddest
MMO,
yeah,
MMO kind of thing.
Yeah, like that's the like gratifying, like, oh, I did a thing. And like when you're done being out in the world and exploring, like whether it's you're out of resources or you need to buy more items, or you just want to see everything you have, or your party's all knocked out. Eventually you go back to the Pokemon professor, and he's like, all right, let's tally up everything that you did. And if you have like a huge variety of Pokemon that you've encountered, you'll get more points for that, or however many objectives you completed, you'll get points for that and stuff like that. And every single time you do that, you start to work up to like a new rank. Like they have like a 10-star rank system. And completing one will get you like new items or a new location to visit, and the story will progress and things like that. But they do a really good job, at least so far. Like I'm like 10 or 12 hours in. They're still like introducing new gameplay mechanics. Like it's not like it's Pokemon, like, and everything to expect. Like there's like a darkness zone, like similar to the Division in this game, that like will randomly pop up in places. And Pokemon like will straight up like fuck you up if you go in and you are not prepared. Like you have to go in with revives and potions and like a really beefy team, otherwise like you will not be able to take them out. The other, which brings me to another thing, it is a lot more difficult like than the majority of other Pokemon games that we've gotten in the last 4 or 5 years. There is a lot of like, it's still that rock paper scissors.
That was pretty tough.
Yeah, like it's probably as difficult as that. But in terms of like the level differences between what you encounter and things like that, like you may encounter one that is either like an alpha Pokemon, which I'll get into in a minute, or just a higher level in general. And if it's your first encounter with it, it straight up will not tell you how powerful it is, what type it is, or anything like that. And you just kind of have to figure it out if you don't know anything about it. And there's a very good chance you won't be able to beat it because you're just like not ready, but it's there in the wild and you just have to figure it out. So it's a much different, like less linear, more grown up approach to this same formula that we've been using for 20 years or however long it's been, 21 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I love like 90% of what they've done. There's very little that I don't like about this game, and it's my problems are mainly aesthetic and performance, and that's Nintendo. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Is this one last question and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Is this similar to Breath of the Wild, where like you think they can't go back to the old way of doing things?
Yep.
And they should just really
1,000%. Like, and if they do, now I'm in the mindset of like, if they do, I just won't play it. Like the idea of going back to I didn't even finish the Diamond and Pearl remakes that came out in November. I think I got to like the 3rd gym and I was like, this whole formula is tired. I just don't want to do this anymore. And there was a while where I think everybody expected that they were going to do like Silver and Gold in the Let's Go formula. And at this point, I don't know that they will. Especially with COVID, like I feel like Pokemon Go has kind of had its moment and not people don't really talk about it anymore.
I mean that game still makes a lot of money.
Does it?
Oh yeah. Like a lot of people came back to it during COVID because of all the changes they made. Like I remember there was drama about them
that's right.
reversing some of the changes they'd made during COVID, and like players getting really frustrated about that.
No.
Because there were a bunch of people with accessibility issues who like literally couldn't play the game, who all of a sudden with all of the COVID changes actually could play the game, and then when they were turning them back, like, you're taking away my ability to actually play the game anymore.
Yeah.
And stuff. No, that game still makes so much money. It's unreal how much money that game makes.
But the I don't, if they, the point I'm trying to make is if they make a Let's Go like silver, gold, whatever, I don't know that I would go and play them at this point. Like this is the only kind of Pokemon game that I want right now. And it has a lot of legs. Like I'm going to be playing this for a while.
So, well, I mean, based off of that, I hope at the very least we will get new Pokemon games in the standard format and new Pokemon Legends games like this.
Yeah.
If they don't totally switch over to this sort of a format.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I've really enjoyed Pokemon for a long time. I mean, you guys know.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of in the same. It's kind of the same of like. I played Persona 3, I played Persona 4, I played Persona 5. I don't know if I want to play Persona 6.
Yeah.
Unless they really come out and wow me. Just because I'm just like,
I've seen it.
I've
seen this movie.
What you're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen it. This is too long, and you know, I don't know. The first relatively long game that I've played lately from start to finish, I'm actually about to talk about. Nobody Saves the World, and beyond that, like, and it's a totally new thing.
Yeah.
You know? So like that's part of what kind of kept me engaged and kept my interest. But do we have any other Pokemon thoughts before we move it on? I noticed Mumjum called out agile attacks and strong attacks.
Yeah. So
what is that?
So when you go into battle, as you level up your Pokemon, they can get the agile and strong versions of like whatever moves that they have if they've been in your party long enough and they're a high enough level. So an agile attack would be one that may attack more quickly, and then I believe it has the chance to attack twice if it hits. The strong attack is like a beefed up version of whatever move that you would have done normally. So it creates more damage, but you may have to go second. So like that could make or break, depending on the situation. I've typically only used the strong attack so far. I don't know why. I haven't really done a lot with the agile, but it is a cool, and then there's a cool little animation whenever they do it. It's a nice addition. I mean, even like the battle system when you, so you find a Pokemon out in the wild, you throw one of your Pokeballs at it, doesn't catch them. A lot of times they'll get like really upset, like the Pokemon that you're trying to catch, and they'll actually start chasing you down and try to attack you. So then you like switch over to your actual, like somebody in your party, throw a Pokeball at them, and a battle immediately starts like right there on the screen. And you can run around like while you're in the middle of doing it.
So does it feel more immersive because of that?
Oh my God. Yeah. You can get like different angles and stuff like that, but you can also like, if you stand in the middle of them, you can actually get hit by whatever attacks they're throwing out, which is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. But they, and then, while that's happening, it plays out like a normal battle. But it's very quick. Like it's not like you're waiting for the text to pop up and to load and you're going into different menus. Like the menus just like on screen while the battle is happening. It's not like you're going into different sub menus and things like that.
I like that.
And then whenever you're ready
really fast, like I used to like take off the animations when I was like just trying to like level
speed
up
run your
just takes too long. Come on.
Yeah. And then whenever you're ready to catch one of them, it'll you can hit ZR and then it'll say like, oh, do you want to try catching this Pokemon? And then you just throw it. So it's like super snappy. And then like as all that's happening, like, let's say you throw the Pokeball and you're like, all right, I'm confident it's like a level 2 whatever. you can literally just start running away. And then it'll be like, you caught so-and-so, like, out in the background. And you're just like, all right, like, on to the next one, like, doing whatever. So, like, there's no downtime in this game.
You can do your called shot like Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock this one out. Boom. All right.
How long until you think you get tired of the formula, though?
That's what I don't know. Because so far they keep adding new mechanics. Whether it's like I can ride Pokemon, or I can, like, dig for treasure, or this, like, Dark Zone thing. Like, they keep adding a little bit more, and then every time they do that, they're introducing new Pokemon into, like, what I have to catch and what I have to battle and everything like that. So
they're pacing it nicely.
Yeah, like the mix up is very good. I haven't really had a moment where I've been like, all right, I'm ready to do something else. It's been like, fuck, 4 hours have gone by and I have to go to bed.
I mean, that's what you love to see it that way.
Yeah. But if anybody's on the fence about it, I can't recommend it enough. Just know full well that it may look like butt and it may run like butt, but you'll have fun doing it.
You'll have a butt ton of fun.
That's right.
Josh.
Yo.
Let's talk about something you've been doing this week before I monopolize the space to talk about a game.
I played a game called Rainbow Six Extraction. You seen this? Heard about this?
You heard about this?
Game Pass, baby.
Yeah. So this was originally called Rainbow Six Quarantine, and then when COVID happened, they changed the title.
Awkward.
It is essentially Rainbow Six Siege, but a PvE game in which you fight these like virus zombies. It's very strange. It's a little odd.
Is it like Hive Busters from Gears of War?
You know, I haven't done Hive Busters in Gears of War.
I reviewed that for us.
I know you did. And that's one of those things I've been meaning to do, but I always forget about it. So I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe someone else knows the answer to that question, but it's a little odd. But basically, the core concept is there's this like weird virus alien things, whatever they are. There's like some kind of core setup, but you're like, you know, you're Rainbow Six, you're super tactical, and you're going in and like doing a bunch of objectives in a mission. So your missions will last like, I don't know, like 10 minutes or so. But unlike something like Left 4 Dead or a Back 4 Blood or whatever, in this game, it is you're a member of a SWAT team, and they are trying to get you to be stealthy. Like you actually get more points and do better when you're stealthy. So you're sneaking around, you're like trying to be silent. There's certain things that if you do them, it will like activate the horde and they'll kind of know where you are, and makes it harder. There's like ways to like see through walls and stuff. So you use all of the tools that you would use in like Rainbow Six Siege. So you have like your drones, and you have these little cars that have cameras on them that you roll around and like tag and ping things, and you have to do all this stuff. And it's kind of neat. I would say my one big issue with it is that after you've done like 2 or 3, you start to kind of just see the same objectives kind of over and over again, and they get remixed, right? But it's kind of like, I'm kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And there's not really like a loot grind to it. Like there's a bunch of characters that you unlock, and as you level up, you unlock those characters. They're not things you buy. And each of the characters have like their own guns and their own like special abilities. Like some of them, one of the ones that I really liked using, like she could do this ping thing, and you could see enemies and stuff through walls, which was incredibly helpful because sometimes you just turn a corner and there's one of these dumb things looking right at you, and then you got to either kill it incredibly fast before it screams or you're screwed, right? And some other people have like different abilities where they can throw like mines down and then like detonate them. It has that whole thing too from Rainbow Six Siege where you can like shoot holes in walls or like barricade up the walls or the windows and stuff. So if you have a part where like you have to fight a horde, if you're playing the right characters, you can like set mines, you can board up the windows and stuff to try and create choke points. So it gets really tactical that way. The problem is that like a lot of the early content is just too easy. Not too easy like for queuing with people, but I feel like if you're playing with 2 friends, you're not going to find it that difficult. And a lot of the difficult stuff I feel like is way later, and you don't unlock it till later. So part of me is like, well, like, do I want to grind? Like, after playing for a couple hours, I was like, do I really want to grind to play this really hard stuff? Like, I don't really have anyone to play with, right? And then just like, do I want to level up all these characters and do I want to do this? It was like, I don't know. Like, maybe. It's kind of strange because it feels like a free-to-play game they're charging money for. But it is on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can try it.
It's kind of free-to-play, but not really.
Yeah, it's just odd. It's like not, it's very unlike all of the things that Ubisoft has made in the last like decade, maybe other than Rainbow Six Siege, which is more just like a live service multiplayer game, right?
Yeah, because they for that they do like regular drops, right? Like content drops.
Siege is incredibly popular, so
well, no, but
it
like,
still gets new characters and stuff.
But you have to pay for it.
Yes.
Okay, that's what
I think you can earn certain things like in Apex, right? Like you can play Apex for free and get like a lot of the cosmetics and a lot of the characters and stuff for free, just by playing. But like you can pay for those shortcuts, or like there's certain cosmetics where they only sell them. I think Rainbow Six Siege is the same way, where it's like you could grind for these characters, but you can also just buy them outright. In this game though, it's like you unlock a bunch of characters. And one of the weird things that's really unique about it, and I don't know how to feel about it, is like if you go to a mission and your character like dies, quote unquote, you can't play them anymore. Until like when you queue up for another mission, you might have one of your objectives might be to rescue an agent. And if you have a character who's been like killed, basically they get captured is the idea. You have to do this objective where you save them and like take them to the helicopter and stuff. And then you can play as them again. That's like they get unlocked in your roster. It is very weird. The other thing too is like if you any damage you take on a mission is like kept between missions. So it's to incentivize you to use a bunch of different characters because your other characters have to heal between missions.
It's like Star Fox.
XCOM.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. But it's just really odd. And I think the idea is to just make the game longer because you can't like just level up a character super fast to get to that, you know, the end game stuff faster. But it's kind of odd. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. It's just kind of like, I don't know if this needs to be here, you know? It's just kind of strange.
It feels padded.
Yeah, like it's a cool idea on paper, but it's just kind of like, do we need this?
Yeah.
Like, does it make the game better? And I would say not really.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make the game worse either.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like.
I necessarily think that somebody was asking the question, "Is this fun?" And like.
Yeah, it's just something that like they did it and they were kind of like, yeah, it's kind of interesting, and then it kind of just stuck. Like maybe at some point maybe this will be interesting, and then it never quite got there. Right? It's just still kind of like. There, it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
It is an interesting idea of like making something possible to like things that we as gamers take for granted, lives, these sorts of things, continues, taking that and making that like part of the world and part of the story. Some games have done that successfully, but like in a game like this, that is an interesting idea of like, when you died, you didn't actually die. You just got knocked out and then captured, and then somebody else has to come back and save you. But doing that at the expense of being able to actually play as that character that you like and have put time into and have leveled up in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know if what you're buying is worth what you sold to get.
That being said, the characters are little more than basically their ability, and there are a ton of characters. Like I think when you start the game you have like 10, which is a lot. But like most of your upgrades are like global, so when you buy,
so it's not a huge deal.
it's not a huge loss. It's just kind of like, oh, great. Well, I'm going to get them back like in the next mission probably. But like when I unlock, I forget what it's called, but it's this mine that shoots out like these like sensor lasers basically. When I unlock that, it's not character specific. That's just a piece of gear that I can equip. So like before every mission, I'm picking my character and then I'm picking a loadout, and that could be in my loadout if I want, just because I choose to, right? So you don't lose a ton, but at the same time, it goes back to the thing where it's like it doesn't make the game actively worse, but it doesn't add anything. I don't feel like interesting to it either. I don't know. It's an odd game, but I didn't hate it. But I would say I didn't like love it either. Like
Are
I don't
you gonna
know
keep
that
playing it?
I don't know. Maybe, but I almost booted it up the other day, and then I was like, I was like, I could go through something in Final Fantasy.
Do you think that's why it's on Game Pass? Because they were
Joshua
like,
Mobley.
they knew it was a tough sell.
Maybe. I'm sure some people will really like it. But it's odd because it basically is, if you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege, it plays exactly like Rainbow Six Siege. It's the same engine. It looks the same. It controls the same.
It's just PvE.
It's just PvE, and I'm like, but the people that are into
that, yeah,
the people that are into Rainbow Six Siege are like probably not going to be into PvE because kind of game is like very competitive, and those people are going to be very competitive and want to do that. In this game, it's like none of that. It's you're shooting these weird virus aliens,
But if you gave me the choice between the two, I would definitely pick the latter. Like I'm definitely somebody for whom organizing this level of teamwork and execution against a horde of AI is more interesting and more fun and more relaxed to me. Than going online and being super competitive.
You know what this feels like? It feels like a gateway drug for
maybe
Rainbow Six Siege proper. Like
maybe
I feel Game Pass, get people to play this and then be like, "Yo, you want to play?"
Siege is also on Game Pass.
Oh, is it really?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but somebody like me who is like, you gotta pull teeth just to get me to like try a multiplayer game. Like I'd be way
had to
more.
Pull out several of his teeth trying to get him.
Can confirm, but like the idea of just hopping into a PvE and be like, you know what, I'll just see how this plays, and then being like, oh, I do like how this plays.
Hey.
If they can get a couple people to do that, like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would say my opinion is go try it on Game Pass and see if you like.
Yeah.
If any of that sounded interesting to you, like go try it. But
assuming you have Game Pass.
Assuming you have Game Pass. But my opinion is like a little lukewarm, but I also didn't hate it, but it didn't like grab me in the way that I thought maybe it would, if that makes sense.
Joshua Mobley of the Platformer says, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
There's a bit.
It's perfectly fine, I would say, but
there's a bit on one of my favorite movie podcasts called The Flophouse, where somebody will say something about the movie and then somebody frames it as like a box quote, or like a pull quote, and I love that. Like, meh, raves Joshua Mobley of the Platformers podcast. I just love that.
Yeah,
it's great.
It plays well. It looks great. It's just
plays well, looks well. It's got good teeth.
It remains to be seen. I don't know if I'll get far enough, but part of me wanted it to feel more like a raid in a game, right? And it doesn't really feel like that. Like it, and maybe it does later, but it was like for me having all these tools, these tactical tools, right? I should feel like I'm using them, but I don't really feel like I'm doing that. I feel like I'm just kind of like shooting stuff and I'm done,
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. They feel like in Destiny, they feel like a lead up to a boss instead of a boss. Like,
yeah, sure.
Like, we got to clear out this trash, and we don't really need all these ridiculous abilities that we have. But
yeah, it was like a strike on easy, kind of is sort of the.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're just going through the motions. I got you.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about something for a while, and it's not going to be lukewarm because I love this game.
Hooray!
I want to talk about Nobody Saves the World. which I got a review key for from our lovely, lovely friends over at Pop Agenda. Long may they reign. But Nobody Saves the World, also on Game Pass. And you should absolutely play this game. This is by Drinkbox. Drinkbox, the makers of Guacamelee, Guacamelee 2, Mutant Blob's Attack, About a Blob, Severed, all that sort of stuff. This is their new one. This is a top-down RPG, hack and slash, kind of.
But it's Zelda-ish.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it's also the dungeons are also procedurally generated.
Why do I feel like we talked about this last week, or
we got
insane?
Impressions of it a little bit last week.
We got impressions, but now I've basically 100%ed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done the nasty to it.
Because I was like, I feel like I spoke of my opinion on this already, but I haven't played anymore.
Yeah, but now I've beaten it and I've S ranked every character.
Okay.
So I've maxed out every character, gotten every ability, all that sort of stuff. I did not do New Game Plus, so I don't have like the 100% of all the achievements, because like there's a couple of them that I just I don't really care about. But I did all the stuff that I wanted to do, and I went back to it after I beat it this week, which is something I didn't necessarily expect to do. But I was having so much fun leveling up the different characters, seeing their specific challenges, and like completing that and going through that loop. Like that was so much fun to me that I just wanted more, even after I had beaten it. But we'll get into that in a second. So one thing I will say is that if you've not been impressed by the trailers and have not particularly been interested in this game because of what the trailers looked like, ignore the trailers, because they do this game absolutely no justice. I love Drinkbox. I've played Guacamelee 2, and Severed, and 100%ed all of those. And
you never played Mutant Blobs?
No.
Was that the one on Vita where you were the blob and you would eat stuff? I love that game.
That game's so
great
fun.
game. Yeah.
I think
Guacamelee
I have it. I have it on Vita, but I think Drinkbox's the first game I played of theirs was Guacamelee, which was dope because it's a Metroidvania. So
Mutant Blobs is a game you could beat like in an afternoon. Like I think it's only like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's not long at all. It's a cute little game.
It's just it's a cute little thing that you don't have to pay too much attention to.
Yeah.
They gave that away with PS Plus, right? On Vita?
Probably.
I think so.
At some point.
Okay.
I think so.
I think I have that, so I may fire that up one weekend or something like that. But Nobody Saves the World was the first one that they announced that I was like, I don't know if this one is for me. Like they keep bouncing to they do this thing like Supergiant Games does, where like every time they're like trying something new. And like Supergiant, I've liked all their stuff that I've played. But this time I was just like, I don't know if this is for me, because you're just this rat running around chewing on people, and it's got that kind of like thin aesthetic, and it looked kind of cheap in the trailer, and which is something that like I definitely understand is like part of their aesthetic. Like Guacamelee kind of looked like that, and Severed kind of looked like that, even to a greater extent. But man, this game is super fun. And it's got like a kind of a light, breezy sense of humor, like a lot of their stuff does. Severed was like significantly darker than the other games that they had done, and this is back to like that kind of light Guacamelee tone.
Severed was their like kind of first-person Phantasy Star 1-esque dungeon game, right?
I never played Phantasy Star 1, but it was first person, and it was a touch-based game. I played it on Vita when it first came out. Oh, there you go, Mutant Blob's Deck.
It's also on Switch.
Hey.
But yeah, it was on Vita, and then it went to Switch later with Severed, and it's about this girl who had her arm cut off, and
I did not care for this game.
You didn't like Severed?
I never finished it. It just didn't grab me.
I liked it. It's one of the very few touch-based games that I really like.
You know, I felt like I got lost a lot in that game. And I think that was kind of the point, but I just got frustrated and quit.
Yeah, I didn't, but like I don't get lost in a lot of games because like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You're lucky.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game's dope. You wake up and you're this like white little androgynous
You're a
naked
nobody.
child. Yeah. And you wake up in this shed and you have no idea what happened, but you very quickly realize that the most powerful wizard in the world is missing, and the world is ending, and people need him. And so basically, you're like, all right, I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on around here. And you go into this house and you find this magic wand, and somebody tries to take it away from you, and they lock you in the dungeon. But while you're down there, you learn how to transform into a rat, and you slip through a tunnel and you get out. And this is kind of the beginning of the rhythm of this game. But once you get the rat form, which is the first one that you get, you're able to shift freely between your nobody form and your rat form. And each of these classes that you will unlock, each of these forms that you obtain, has two things that are built into them. There's their signature attack, which builds up your mana, which fuels all of your special abilities, and that is on like the cross button on PlayStation or the A button on Xbox. And then you have one of your passive abilities. So for the rat, your passive ability is that all of your attacks deal poison damage, and like tick up the poison meter on enemies. And once that fills up, then they'll start ticking damage over time of the poison element. And elements are important. And then their signature thing is, okay, I'm going to chew on you and do this like fast attack. That's the rat's signature attack. Those two things never change. Every time that you're the rat, those two things will be true. But then as you complete more challenges, which I'll get into in a second, you unlock additional moves, like additional face buttons for different specials, additional passive slots as you level up, these sorts of things. So when you get to like level 10, level 20, level 30, level 40, you unlock these passive slots, and then you can add them from different classes. This is very much like Final Fantasy's job system, where like you level something up, you switch to another class, you get something, you bring it back over here. It's a lot like this.
If a Final Fantasy job was horse.
Yes, because you can literally, one of the forms that you can unlock is horse, which is fun because the horse's attack they buck. Which if you know how horses buck, they get on their front legs and then they kick their back legs out behind them, which means you have to run up to enemies, turn around, and then mash attack to kick with your back feet, which is fun.
They also the horse moves really fast. That's mainly what I use it for.
Yeah.
It's like getting around. You're like,
yes.
just turn into a horse so I can run.
Exactly. Man, and once you get some of the passives later on in the game, and then some of the abilities as well, man, you can really be cooking. Like, you can really get moving, which is great. There's all kinds of different forms that you can get. You can turn into a ghost that like just floats through and like haunts people and scares them. That's their ability. So like you don't really have a direct attack. It's just like an aura around you that like does tick damage to people and like turns them into like being afraid of you. It puts fear on them, and then they like start running away. And you can do all sorts of stuff like that. Like you can get back attacks and things. But there's so many different flavors of things. Like you can play as a slug, you can play as like a turtle, you can play as a mermaid, and all of these things, like these different forms will act the way that a lot of these like Zelda-like upgrades or Metroid-like abilities will do. So like if you need to get across the water and you're in your regular nobody form, you can't do that. You can't swim in the water. It's kind of like Link. Like if you were to fall in the water, like that would just be it for you. But once you unlock the mermaid form, you can swim all over the place super fast, no problem. And that also unlocks like their different abilities. So it's more about unlocking new forms to gain access to new places. But then you can still revisit those anytime that you want. And the first time that you unlock a form, you'll get a little challenge in your menu. And this game is all about the challenges. This is the thing that this game does. There's no loot really in this game. Like you don't go around and pick up new weapons or new armor or anything like that. It is all ability focused. It is all challenge focused. Much like Halo Infinite, like you're focused on completing challenges to progress. So the first time you'll do it, it'll be like, okay, bite 25 enemies with the rat's signature bite ability, which you're naturally going to get. And then you'll unlock a different ability, and it's like, oh, this is consume. So I'm gonna spend some of my magic points, and I'm gonna deal a damaging special attack, and 30% of that damage will come back to me as health. And then it's like, okay, do this to like 5 enemies or kill them with that. And then it starts getting a little bit more complicated, and they'll have you pull in specials from other things and play with synergy. And they kind of act as like achievements by kind of hinting new ways that you can play or new sorts of synergies that you can build. And that's basically what the whole game is just unlock new forms, unlock those new specials, use your tokens that you get from leveling up and completing challenges, or that you buy from people to like improve those and like level those specific abilities or passives up, and then synergize those with different setups such that you can get through these dungeons. And like with Guacamelee, some of the enemies in the later dungeons will have like shields that you have to break through using specific damage types. And so you'll need to either switch to a form that does that sort of damage or pull in an ability that does that sort of damage, for you. So, and there's some pretty bonkers modifiers on some of these. There's one dungeon where the special modifier is all damage is multiplied by 9,999, which would normally one-shot you. But if you get an ability from the egg, you can get through that. So there's a bunch of really cool stuff. I really like it. It is interesting how it basically doesn't give you any of the story of what actually happened in the game until like the last 15 minutes, in which you find out like all the stuff that happened and the entire like story. But it is as a game for whom the point is basically like you're just somebody who's trying to save the world. It kind of works. It's cool. It's very light and breezy. I beat it in I think around 23 or 24 hours.
Wow, that's a good length for a Drinkbox game.
Oh,
yeah. This is easily their biggest one.
Yeah,
it's also a good podcast game.
It is.
Oh,
it
really?
Is. Although I will say, music in this game is real good. So I would not turn it off.
Right.
Go pull up.
It's only January. There's so many good games out right now, guys.
It's true. Go on Spotify and pull up Nobody Saves the World original soundtrack and play, I think it's song 3, The Calamity. So good. I love it. I've listened to it a whole bunch, along with the Chicory song, Eyes in the Darkness, and probably Ancient Evil.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Should I play this on Game Pass now, or should I wait until my Steam Deck shows up and play it on there?
It's a good Steam Deck game, probably.
It would be a real good Steam Deck game.
It sounds like it is.
Yeah.
I may do that. I don't know.
But I will tell you.
I mean, you only have to wait like a month and a half, right, for your Steam Deck?
No, mine doesn't ship till the second quarter.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
But, Chris, I will tell you, this game has online co-op.
It does have that.
We could play on Game Pass, and I'll start over.
Yeah, but how? Oh, okay, I was gonna say, how would that work? Like, are you gonna have to?
Like, I mean, I have it on Steam. That's where I played it and beat it. So I don't think it has. I don't think it has crossplay.
Yeah,
we could check.
Because here's the problem. Even if I've got Pokemon,
you got Arceus. You're gonna be
Uncharted, which I have to clean up. I just have to clean up trophies. That's not like the top of my list at all. Okay. What was it? It just escaped me. I still haven't played Hades, and that's on Game Pass.
Oh, you need to do that.
And everyone keeps saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, you need.
And I want to play Hitman.
And Hitman.
And Deathloop.
That's literally my favorite game from last year and my favorite game from the year before that.
I know.
I'm not gonna tell you to play Nobody Saves the World over those, but you should definitely play those and then play Nobody Saves the World.
Yeah. I think after Pokemon, Hitman is gonna be the next one.
As far as just like pure unadulterated fun, like this is, I will tell you, I will Smoke in the chat says you need to play Inscription, Chris. Also,
he has been saying that to me. John, I love you. He said it to me every time I've talked to him for the last like 2 weeks.
Well, you need.
He's like, have you played
need to
Inscription
shut-
yet?
I
You need to
bought it.
shut up
I
and
haven't
play
played it yet
Inscription.
though.
I will. Where's the Epic Game Store? I'm just going to install it because he's not going to leave me alone. You can watch me do it.
It's on Steam.
No, I already own it. I bought it. I
Yes.
bought it with a coupon.
Oh, okay.
John, I will
Here we
let you
go.
watch
Here
me
we
download
go.
it once. I don't know why this isn't loading. I'm gonna relaunch it. Anyway,
I love this. We're gonna see this
That is
live on the
funny,
show.
though.
Yeah.
He's gonna install
Mhm.
Inscription.
I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised if it's already installed.
But that'd be amazing.
That would be really funny, actually.
Dude, Inscription, another amazing Steam Deck game.
Is this like down? I wonder if it's down. Oh, no,
If it
there you
is,
go.
that'd be a really inopportune time.
It's
Yeah.
just slow.
Epic, keep your stuff together. We got a show to run. But yeah, like it's so good. It's so good. Like it's the little dungeons don't take that long to play through, which is great. Like there's the overworld. There's a bunch of like little odd jobs that you can do. They're all like really goofy. Like it's very good. Like if you have Game Pass, like definitely play it. Here, here we go. Chris is installing Inscription. Here we go. It's time. Let's go.
I guess this is what I'm
but-
playing next, because otherwise he's not gonna leave me alone.
Hey, Smoke, I appreciate you. Thank you for thank you for helping me get to him finally. Yeah, but it's really great. If you have Game Pass, you have no excuse. You should definitely try it.
Yeah.
It's a fun
If
little
you-
game.
If you don't have Game Pass, it is available on Xbox and Steam, and it's only $25, which is I'm not big on the what a value for the price, but like Drinkbox games are good.
Well, and
And-
Drinkbox games are always like relatively cheap, and for the quality of the game that you get, like it's kind of
Yeah.
insane.
I was actually just thinking about this. I was thinking about like, I think with this, Drinkbox joins Supergiant in that like rarefied era of like, if they make it, I'm just gonna get it.
yeah.
Because they haven't let me down. Like Guacamelee
Oh,
was
no.
awesome. Severed was awesome. Guacamelee 2 was awesome. What?
I just launched Inscription and I didn't mean to. I thought it was just gonna take me to like a info page or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's Drinkbox is great.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, I waited like a year and a half to play Guacamelee 2 or something like that. And it was just one afternoon. Jess was like, "You should play that. You love the
You
first
went,
one."
okay.
And I was like, "You're right, I did." And then that's all I did for like 12 hours.
yeah. And it's great. Like Guacamelee 2 is awesome. Yeah, all those games are really, really good. And I mean, this is another one. So if you've been thinking about it, like this is a great if you're not playing Pokemon Legends Arceus and you're waiting for that big February to hit, this is the game to play. It's very good. It's pretty wild to me that I've beaten 3 games so far this year, and they are Chicory, Returnal, and this, and those are all bangers. Just top
I mean,
to bottom.
we've been very blessed the last like
Very
year and a
true.
half of like there's just been a lot of really good games.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Yeah, I actually made a list of what was it? I tweeted this out earlier. I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but the games that I was looking forward to. I looked through the Game Informer thing.
Oh yeah, they have that like running tab every year of like here's everything that we know about so far.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what is? Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, beyond like Elden Ring and Horizon, like I'm not really sure what is coming or when it's coming that I'm actually excited about. And there's a couple of things, but there's honestly not that much.
For me, it's I'm hoping Babylon's Fall is really good, and
I
then
forgot about that game.
I'm really excited for the trash fire that Stranger in Paradise of Final Fantasy Origin is going.
Oh my god. Yep.
Man, it's super fun. The game is super fun. Dialogue delivery is.
Ooh.
Can't wait because my friend and I played it and we were having a lot of fun playing it, but we were cracking up at just how bad how badly delivered like the dialogue is and everything. Oh my god.
I feel
can't
like
wait.
it's on purpose, right? Like I feel like that's part of.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's probably going to be a trash fire in the best way possible.
Yeah, like
can't
I
wait.
feel like I have to believe that they are like smarter than we are. And that they're like, what if we just made this thing that's like comically
just
awful,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's.
I wish I could join you there, Chris, but I cannot.
Because what'll be
my
crazy
God,
is
man.
like, what if the gameplay is just like rips? Like it's just like
The
so
gameplay
tight.
is great.
Oh man,
I played the beta with a friend of mine when they did the online one.
when nobody could get into it.
We played like almost all the content on it, and like we were like, man, the gameplay is super good, and like the frame rate's great. It does all these things, but man, this writing and this dialogue is just so like we were just cracking up.
What was the thing in the trailer? It was like, I am sin, or no, not
He's
sin.
like, I'm here to kill chaos.
Yeah,
every
chaos,
5
that
seconds.
was it.
Yeah, dude, he says that like constantly. And then there was the thing from the beta where that lady says all that stuff and the dude just goes bullshit and then starts playing Limp Bizkit on his phone and walks away as 100% real. That
It's
is
not Limp Bizkit, but like it is
Limp Bizkit.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
100%.
It's not Limp Bizkit, but it sounds like them.
It is Limp Bizkit. Like I'm pretty
Brian's
sure.
like,
figured out
I
the
won't let
exact
it
song,
be.
dude.
Limp
It is
Bizkit.
not.
Brian,
It's not.
just let it.
No, I
it
feel like
is.
people came out and said that it's not. It just sounds like them.
I'm like 100% sure that they figured that out, that it is. But either way, it's
God.
ridiculous. And
All right.
When does that come
I
out?
can't wait. March, like end of March.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
Yeah. And then I'm also waiting for Warhammer Darktide, because
You know what I forgot about? Shovel
What'd you
Knight
forget?
Dig. I completely forgot about
I don't know if I know even know
I don't
about
know
it.
if
What is
I know
this?
what this is.
It's like a Dig Dug like game.
Oh,
But in the Shovel Knight.
that sounds very
world.
appealing.
Oh,
to
I
me.
did know about this.
I had completely forgotten about this.
It's like what's that game we like? SteamWorld Dig
Big
2.
Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, SteamWorld Dig.
I thought you were gonna
SteamWorld Dig
say,
is awesome.
Yeah.
like Dig Dog. I'm like, yeah, like the
Dig
thing we
Dog.
just talked about.
The
No,
thing we
no,
literally
SteamWorld.
just said.
Um
Yeah, but it's basically like what, maybe Horizon, Elden Ring, maybe Saints
I'm
Row.
waiting on Elden Ring because I
Uh,
always start those games, you know, those Souls games, and I'm always really into them. And then 10 hours in, I'm like, man, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I stop. So I'm like, kind of like, should I or should I not? Like, I might.
I'm
wait.
working on it, so I'll definitely.
I mean, yeah, but you're a Souls boy, and I'm like,
Sure.
I appreciate them and like them, but I have never beaten one because I just get bored.
You appreciate them from afar.
Yeah, I
You,
like I like the idea of them. I just get bored of them after a little bit.
You're like you look good from across the party, but you're not gonna go up and talk to him.
You're missing Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
I'm not missing it.
That game looks so good. And
Starfield,
Chocobo
Awesome
GP.
Knights.
Oh yeah,
God,
Starfield.
Chris.
Chocobo GP, I'm with you, Chris. I'll be playing
Hell
Chocobo
yeah.
GP.
You, me,
Yeah.
and Jess against the
Oh, yeah.
world.
We're gonna be playing that.
Yeah, then that Oxenfree 2, Redfall, Hollow Knight Silk Song, if that comes out this year.
That
fingers
game is never
crossed.
coming out.
It is coming out, Chris. Don't you dare say that.
No.
It needs to come out. I need it. I need it in life. I need it. And then whatever the Zelda sequel is. What do you think? What could spoil it that is in the title that they can't mention?
Wait, in Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah. What is it, like Breath of the Wild? Breath of the Wild 2.
What was
Link's homosexual adventure, and he gets with Ganon,
You're like, whoa.
and they're all smooching.
Yeah.
Hold
Like
on.
what could they? Because they're like, we're not revealing the title of it because it could spoil. It could spoil like.
I think they're
important
yeah,
stuff
they're
like that.
waiting. They're waiting till the last minute.
What could it possibly spoil? Like,
What could it? This is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they said.
Well,
What
just
could it
seems
possibly
silly.
spoil?
Oh, this was it. Barrett Courtney. Was it Demise of
Is he
not
in our
Demise of
chat?
the Wild. No.
Or we just I was like, holy
No, he was the one that
It's like I haven't talked to him in so long.
No, he was the one that came out and was like, I'm pretty sure we're playing as Ganondorf in this game. And I thought he guessed the title at some point.
That would be cool.
And everyone was like, shit, that makes a lot of sense. And I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, based on like the tapestries and stuff like that, and like the way
in the first one.
Yeah, the way that they made Ganon look was like one arm out of his shirt or something like that. Like it looks really like Link looks in this game.
I'm gonna sign on to this. I'm gonna sign on to Barrett's bandwagon. I think that's a cool idea. It'd be different.
Oh yeah, he thinks it'll be called Demise of the Wild, and you're playing as like a young Ganondorf who
trying to end the world or something
from Skyward Sword.
I mean, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
It'd be different.
It would make sense why they ported Skyward Sword to Switch and none of the other ones.
I mean, if we're trying to make sense of what Nintendo does,
I mean, aren't Ocarina and Majora on there just because of the N64 stuff?
Yeah, but that was going to happen regardless. I don't think that has anything to do with.
If you pay $8,000 a year for,
I mean, there's also Link to the
Switch
Past is on there
dial-up.
too, like the new one, right?
Yeah, but they don't have Wind Waker, they don't have Twilight Princess,
Yeah,
and like
they
they
do
have
need Wind-
and
they
they
do
have
need
those
Wind
HD
Waker.
ports on Wii U. Like,
Mhm.
me and a billion other people are like, why isn't that there?
Why?
Why?
I would love. I haven't played Wind Waker in a really long time. I would love to replay it.
Game's real good.
Yeah,
I haven't played it since the Wii U era.
That was a good port.
I haven't played it since the GameCube era. So
Like that-
it's been a while.
That
That
port
port was
even
awesome.
had like the gamepad support in it was actually really good.
Yeah.
Like it worked really well. I don't know.
Mhm.
It was great. That was the best version of that game. I'm not gonna fight you on that.
There's only like 2 versions of that game, so it's not that
Yeah.
hard to be the best one.
Josh is like, "Fuck you and your opinions." There's only 2 versions. It was a coin
It's
toss.
not that hard. All right.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah,
We
we're
got
near
anything else?
2 hours.
We wrap.
Let's
No,
call it
I
a
don't have
day.
anything else.
Let's call it.
All right.
Thank you all for joining us for episode 217 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
Yeah, we never actually did the intros.
Did we not?
I don't
we
think-
did.
No,
You did. I don't think we don't think we did, but
We did.
don't
Smoke in
know.
chat says
I
no.
guess
bed,
I'll
only
find. I guess
inscription.
I'll find out when I edit this tomorrow.
John, I have to get up way earlier now. It's not happening.
Yeah. Anyways, if you have any topics that you want to suggest, like Smoke did here with Inscription, you can hit us up in the chat here on Twitch at twitch.tv/platformerspod, or you can hit us up on Google Play, not SoundCloud anymore, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that sort of stuff. Please review us there. Because word of mouth is like the only way we have to grow, and reviews really help, and we appreciate them. If you want to talk to us individually, or you want to hit us up with stuff that you think about throughout the week, you can find us all corporately at PlatformersPod on Twitter, and you can find me at Ribnax on Twitter and Instagram, RIBNAX.
You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see the cool video essay stuff that I'm doing, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic. The Star Wars According to Joseph Campbell video was supposed to be out today, but the automated YouTube copyright thing decided that just one of the clips of Force Awakens that I had in there was just a little too long, and so it was blocked worldwide. So I need to adjust accordingly and re-upload and hope to God that it works correctly. So honestly, by the time you're listening to this, as long as you're not in the chat right now, it might actually be up. So please go support it.
You can find me at Shrives93. I'll probably be tweeting about Pokemon and the many dangers that ensue while I'm in the wild. I will not be tweeting about Inscription. At least not.
Nor should you, because it's spoiler heavy.
It is spoiler heavy, yeah. I just won't do that.
But you should definitely be playing it.
I need to
Maybe the end of this week. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how long it takes you to get through Pokemon.
No. It depends on how much Pokemon Jess is playing and how much she lets me play. Which is
But hey, now you got your backup. While she's doing that, you can be playing.
Yeah. That may happen tomorrow because she's off tomorrow, so she may just be like,
and you could play that on your.
We're
laptop.
getting takeout,
Yeah,
and
bruh.
you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Don't talk to me. I'm playing Pokemon. Like she's gonna.
It's not very demanding at all, which is great. So
Yeah.
you can definitely do that.
Nice.
But yeah, you can find archives of our streamed episode recordings on YouTube at youtube.com/platformerspod. And if you have a good time with the show, tell your friends about it. We don't advertise. This is the only way we have to grow. From everybody here at the Platformers, we hope that you have a wonderful week out there and stay safe because until next time, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.